And if any woman dared to appear on the internet looking as crusty and dusty and ill as he just does at any given time, we'd be banished from the face of the earth.
I'm Glennis, comedian, perfect woman, and certified sad girl. I'm on a mission to meet and interview sad girls like me and destigmatize mental illness, all in the hopes of feeling a little bit better by any means necessary. We're all going through it. Let's go through it together. And remember, it's okay to be sad, girl.
This is Sad Girl Survival Guide, the show that explores rock bottom, breakdowns, and breakthroughs, one sad girl at a time. And today, it's me, the titular sad girl. Just me musing on this last week or so and upcoming events in New York City. Ooh, the vest is unzipped today. What could it be? What could it be? It's the election. But before we get into that, I want you to know we're expanding. We're everywhere you can find podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other such places you can like, subscribe, follow, comment, share, rate and review, and any other way you can engage. I'm sure they've got it. So please share the pod if you enjoyed it. We love you so much, Sad Girl Nation. So this last weekend, it was Halloween weekend. Spooky, spooky. Usually I like to go all out, or I always have grand plans of going all out. And then it sort of sneaks up on you, kind of like a monster, if you will. I was not prepared this year at all. I've kind of gone balls to the wall most other years. I was a mummy. I was Lara Croft. I really enjoy Halloween. But this year, I was going to be the laughing cow. You know, the cheese, the red cow that wears her cheese as an earring. Well, I bought a red morph suit, and let's just say I looked like Ned Flanders when he's wearing a skin tight ski suit and he flexes his butt cheeks and Homer's like, "God, stupid sexy Flanders." That is what I look like, but not sexy. It was see-through. It was showing every ripple, like ripples I didn't realize that I had, creating more ripples even than if I was just completely nude. So we had to bag it, and I will be returning it to the online retailer from which I purchased it. But I didn't wear it, so whatever, it's fine. I was going to go all in on Laughing Cow. I even bought Laughing Cow cheese to make the earrings, but it didn't work out. So I ended up just being regular cow on Halloween itself. And I ended up opting out of a social function that I was sort of invited to, encouraged to attend, but I decided it was an act of self-love to not go. I just can't be around people who are 6 years younger than me, doing that I don't particularly enjoy or partake in. That's just getting harder for me as I get older. So then Saturday went to another Halloween party with my friend who has 5 cats. Still too few, if you ask me. And I was Poe from the Teletubbies. Well, here's the thing about me being Poe. I was a lone Teletubby. I didn't go with 3 other Teletubby friends. But luckily, Poe is distinct enough. Like, I once did this as a kid. I was such a big Spice Girls head. And I dressed up as Sporty Spice from the Spice Girls. And I didn't have like 4 other girls to complete the look. So I just looked like a lesbian for Halloween, which is fine, I guess. But I was 6 years old and I was living in Plano, Texas at the time, which is exactly as it sounds. It's just Plano, Texas. So that one didn't go over too well, if you ask me. I also had another costume for a party earlier in the week. And the theme for that party was Loca Bellas, so crazy bitches. And I went as the craziest bitch I could think of. Um, I'm not going to name her because I don't want to get tagged. But let's just say category is socialite friend of a wealthy financier who's no longer with us. Okay. Anyway, today I'm shooting on a borrowed tripod. I need to buy a new one, I guess, because mine has vanished off the face of the earth. I have no idea where this freaking tripod went. And I've been plaguing all my friends with complaints of, have you seen it? Have you seen me with it? Was I somewhere with a tripod that for some reason I'm blanking that I had this thing? I don't know where it went. And I think this is why it's so easy for TikTok to be diagnosing all of us with ADHD and ADD and low executive function, whatever, because I lost this tripod, have no memory of where I had it last or where I put it, where it could possibly be. I've crawled under my bed. I've looked in my bathroom. Why would it be in there? It wouldn't. I looked under the litter box, for God's sake. Nowhere to be seen. And I'm like, this is it. I have ADHD. I have ADHD. I've lost my tripod. I'm sick in the head. I knew it. And this is proof. I can't, it makes no sense. I have a car. Sometimes I use that as a kind of storage unit. I put it in the car. I have lifted every seat. I have pulled everything out. It's a Honda Fit. Where could it possibly be within a Honda Fit that isn't immediately visible to the eye? It's not there. I have a memory of hooking it on something. No idea. No idea. It's lost forever, and that's that. I was always the one that would lose the umbrella. Like, if it was rainy and I was going to school, my stepmom would give me an umbrella, and then inevitably I would lose it. And she'd be like, every time, every time with you and these freaking umbrellas. And it truly was a curse that followed me for a while. I have a lot of pride in not losing things. I have a keychain on my keys that I've had since the 4th grade. I've never lost my keys. Umbrellas, different story. And now this freaking tripod. And they're not that expensive to replace, but it's the principle. Because I'm going to order one, and then this tripod is going to show up somewhere so obvious, so excruciating, so in front of my face. So, at the time of filming, it's Monday night, November 3rd. Tomorrow is election day in New York City. So that's why I'm wearing my Zohran for mayor for good luck. And I'll be wearing that at a viewing party tomorrow as well. This man gives me hope. I'm sorry. I know that may be naive. You know, we've been burned before. I'll insert whatever the outcome is because this is coming out on Wednesday. Maybe I'll have some celebratory footage to play here. He gives me hope. You know, I live in a rent-stabilized apartment in a rapidly gentrifying area of Brooklyn. And I'll say it. I have a 1-bedroom for $1,700. And nothing like that exists in my area anymore. A 1-bedroom starts at $2,200, and it's a unicorn. And I feel like I'm going to be one of these old ladies who never leaves her New York City apartment because God forbid she gave it up, and in the future this will be $10,000 a month instead of $1,700, and people will be like, "Oh my God, you only pay $1,700 for your Brooklyn apartment? That's the price of an apple." With the way things are going, that seems like a pretty likely outcome. And Zohran wants to freeze the rent. Rent stabilized apartments will get a rent freeze for 4 years. So that means in 2030, I could still be paying $1,700 for a one bedroom apartment. That is unprecedented. It will be the only of its kind in the area, like guaranteed. So to me, it was a pretty easy decision. I also don't really want to vote in a corrupt serial sexual predator to office, especially now that he has the endorsement of the president. I just think, my God, like, how many more red flags do you need, especially in New York City? So I just feel really hopeful that this is going to be different, she said. Um, I love that Curtis Sliwa is like a former hot guy, crazy cat dude, though. Like, he's really breaking the mold, breaking the stereotype of like crazy cat lady, but it's crazy cat old guy with a beret. Whatever. He's not well, but he's been a very entertaining prospect. Not one that I think has a chance, but it's certainly helping to kind of silo away some of the votes that wouldn't go to Zohran, at least away from Cuomo. So whatever. He can be invited to the debates, I guess. So over Halloween weekend, Zohran has been in these streets, and he went to Elsewhere, Mood Ring. Like, these are vibey clubs in Bushwick, and he was out at like 1 a.m., like making appearances. Do you understand the kind of experience someone is having in Bushwick on Halloween weekend at 1 a.m.? They're on some freaky, mind altering substances. I think if I was at Elsewhere and I was having that kind of night, and then the future mayoral candidate just like kind of showed up, I would be like, oh, I'm hallucinating. I've lost my mind, and the mayor is here. Like, it's crazy. And then people were like, "Oh, if Kamala did that, she'd be pandering, but not if Zohran does it." Kamala is 60 years old. Zohran is 34. And people were like, 34 is still too old to be up in the club. Excuse me? As someone who is the same age as Zohran, a month younger even, I take umbrage with that statement. That hurts my feelings, and take it back. Because if I want to go to the club, I'm going to go to the club. Okay? One thing that's come out of this election for me, anyway, is a deep loathing of Michael Rappaport. My hatred for this man knows no bounds. What a grifter, sellout, nasty, racist man. What a fall from grace. He used to be cool, right? I used to see him hiking on Runyon when I lived in LA, and I was like, oh my God, it's Michael Rappaport. Now, if I saw him, you know what I mean? Just, he makes me sick. Every time I see him on Threads, yeah, I'm on Threads. He posts to Threads a lot. I will be in the comments bullying him. Why is this man always covered in scabs? And if any woman dared to appear on the internet looking as crusty and dusty and ill as he just does at any given time, we'd be banished from the face of the earth. So, Michael, pack it in. We all know you're getting paid to post. The jig is up. It would actually be a great honor to be blocked by him. So that's my goal. I am lucky in a sense. Like, my dad is progressive. He lives upstate, but he's like, if I could vote in New York, I'd be voting for Zohran. Like, it's so exciting. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like, it would be so hard if my dad and I were like very politically opposed. Very grateful for that. I would struggle to talk to him at all, I think. And and I'm pretty strongly opinionated about certain things, and if I go off, he's kind of like, "Okay." Like he like kind of hears me out about it, which is kind of cool. Um I have been thinking about our upbringing a little bit because my dad was super strict, super strict. And in a way, he's like a minimalist. You know that like threat, like that stereotype that parents are like, if you don't clean up, I'm coming in there with a garbage bag and I'm throwing everything away that isn't put away. He would legit do that. Like it wasn't just a threat, it was a task, an action item on his end. And that minimalism is so funny when you have kids, sticky kids who have kid energy and do kid things. And there was one point where we lived in this house in Germany and we had like a den. And this den was just like a sitting room. And it was, there's maybe bookshelf and there were two couches that they had bought, my dad and my stepmom. And I know that they wanted these designy investment pieces, but we were forbidden from sitting on those couches. Forbidden couches. So what's the point of the couch? Just for to be a visual thing. And we were well off, but like this was not like a those are the sitting quarters, and then you have the other living room, and then the kids' room, and then the. But no, that was the room that was supposed to be the living room for living in, and it was a museum, and we weren't allowed in there. I've really been on a massage kick. You can get affordable massages pretty much anywhere in New York, and I've been getting foot massage, back massage, chair massage. It's helping with the seasonal change and hey, the pain of getting older. Literal and figurative, okay? And I love getting massages, but I've had some funny experiences getting massages. Like one time I was kind of scratched up from my cats and I was getting a chair massage and she was rubbing my arm, and at one point she kind of looked at my arm as if to say, "Who hurt you?" And I had to like kind of lift my head up from the chair and be like, "Is my cat's," and then go back down. And she was like, "Oh, okay." Like she was genuinely like concerned for me, like in this very sweet maternal way that I was like, "Thank you for your concern. I'm fine." One time I got a massage and it was a male masseuse. And normally I don't care, whatever, it's fine. But in this massage, I had to flip over at a certain point. And so I went from being face down to face up. And when I flipped over, he bends over me like this and goes, "Very beautiful." Very beautiful. So ominous. Don't do that. Please. We were having such a good time not talking to each other at all whatsoever. I think he really just was working for his tip, and just maybe thought that I would want a compliment, like very beautiful. But no, that scared me. Don't scare me away from male masseuses now. You did anyway. There's something so funny about like the beginning of a massage where they're like warming up your back kind of, and you still have the like sheet or blanket or whatever over your back. And then because you leave your underwear on but not like a bra or anything, so they pull the sheet down and then they like pull your panties down a little bit just to reveal your crack a little bit, and then they kind of tuck the sheet into your underwear. That is so intimate. That is so intimate when they just kind of slide your panties down a little bit. Like, oh my God, buy me dinner first. What the hell? I saw this TikTok that was like this woman who was picking her kid up from like dance class, and it was in the same plaza as like a massage place that offered happy endings. And the happy ending massage place had actually closed down. And so she was filming from a distance, watching all these dudes walk up to the happy ending massage parlor, try the door, and then turn away and walk away. And it really had me wondering, like, why isn't there a happy ending culture for women? There really isn't. I mean, I understand that there is, escort work, and it's not to say that women don't pay for those types of services, but the culture skews towards male customers. And I think it's just we're not wired that way, you know? We don't necessarily need quick sexual gratification. We want to eat fruit in a cave with our girls. We want to bask in the sun. We want our hair to be played with and our backs to be tickled. We don't need to be fondled and diddled with for a cheap thrill. The girls are going to Six Flags together. That's how we get our rocks off. And then we're going to go to the spa. Like, I don't get, like, it just doesn't. What would be the equivalent? Brunch? That was today's episode of Sad Girl Survival Guide. If you're in New York City, God, I hope we won the election with Zohran Mamdani. This is coming out after Election Day, but we can muse on it more later, whether it's celebratory or consolatory. Consolate, whatever that word is. Consolation. Today, it was just me, but we have some exciting guests coming up, new segments, new formats. So follow us everywhere you can, subscribe everywhere you can, like, share, comment, follow, engage. Please engage. Sad girls, engage. We're going to get through this winter together. It's going to be awesome. And then on the other side, is spring and summer, girl. And remember, in the meantime, it's okay to be sad, girl. Bye.